Hey there everyone, and welcome to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a new console that's set to come out in 2024 that will let you play some classic 64-bit games. It's all coming up right after this. Alright everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscription button, click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video. Give this one a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you want to be part of the conversation. So it looks like the company Analogue, the company that makes the Analogue Pocket, the Analogue Duo, have announced another console that they have planned to come out in 2024. This one is called the Analogue 3D, and it's going to let you play Nintendo 64 games. Let's check it out. Alright, so as of yesterday, October 16th, Analogue has officially announced their next console. This is the Analogue 3D. It says the future's here, 64 bits of pleasure. Now, they're not really showing much of anything. They're not really saying much about it except for a few little blurbs on their website. Like this says wireless Bluetooth and 2.4G, 4 original style controller ports, completely engineered in FPGA, Analogue OS, no emulation. So just to break that down a little bit, it means that you're going to be able to use original wired Nintendo 64 controllers on this or wireless Bluetooth controllers, and there's an announcement for that coming up as well. Completely engineered in FPGA, Analogue OS, no emulation. So basically this is going to use an FPGA chipset, which means that all of the emulation is hardware-based, not software-based. Now, why is that a good thing? Well, the reason it's a good thing is because if you've ever tried to emulate a Nintendo 64 game, you know it's a pain in the ass. And nobody's really ever been able to get it 100% right. And that would include Nintendo. If you're on their subscription service for their old games, for the Nintendo 64 games, even on the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo 64 games are not emulated perfectly. Draw distance, missed, certain textures, just they don't seem to be right. They're constantly tweaking the games. You look at games like Ocarina of Time, you look at games like GoldenEye, and they're just not 100% perfect. But apparently, because this is going to use hardware emulation, they're going to be able to play original Nintendo 64 games 100% accurately. Now, a little bit more from their website. It's a reimagining of the N64, 4K resolution, so you'll be able to hook this up to your modern TV. I would obviously through HDMI, so they'll have HDMI out to your TV, be able to play it bumped up to 4K resolution, original display modes, so you'll be able to play it the way it was originally intended as well on your modern TV, which is nice. Reference quality recreation of specific model CRTs and PVMs. So I guess they're going to have scan lines and different things built into this, so when you're playing on a modern TV, you can really make it feel like you're still playing on an old school CRT from back in the day when you had your original Nintendo 64. First and only aftermarket solution supporting 100% compatibility in every region, USA, Europe, and Japan, coming in 2024. So again, this plays into what I was just talking about with the FPGA, with the hardware emulation versus software emulation. Because they're going that route, they are claiming that every single game made for the Nintendo 64, and I'm sorry I keep stumbling on that word, it's early in the morning, it will be 100% compatible with this. Now, there was another announcement to go along with this, and let me just scroll down a little bit more for that. All right, and what you're kind of sort of seeing here is a look at the controller that is going to be compatible with this. This is the wireless controller, and it's actually going to be made by 8BitDo. Now, 8BitDo is well known for putting out some really great controllers that emulates, maybe not the right word, really provide the look and feel of the original controllers that they're trying to mimic, but with modern touches to them. So it looks like they're going to be coming out with an N64 style controller to go along with this new Analogue 3D. So that's one of the things that I'm actually pretty excited about here, is that 8BitDo is going to be coming out with a Nintendo 64 style controller that's going to be running wirelessly, I guess through Bluetooth and those means. Hopefully they can also make it compatible with the Nintendo Switch, because again, if you've ever tried to play a Nintendo 64 game on the Switch with their standard controllers, it doesn't always have the same feel to it. And the Nintendo 64 style controller that Nintendo has is always out of stock. You know, you can never get it. It like goes in and out of stock immediately. As a matter of fact, if you watched my news video from last week, you know I kind of poked fun at that a little bit. So if 8BitDo comes out with this and they make it compatible with the Nintendo 64, I think that's going to be fantastic for people who want to continue to play the games that Nintendo's putting out on the Switch. And then, of course, you know, if you're going to get this Analogue 3D, you're going to want that to go along with this. Now, apparently this will support, again, up to 4 controllers, whether it's the wireless controllers or whether you use actual old school N64 wired controllers. You're going to have access to that through this new console. Now, a couple other little things that came out about this that aren't necessarily in the Analogue announcement is the fact that apparently the other Analogue devices use a chip called the Cyclone V FPGA. This one is not going to do that. This is going to be using a different FPGA, although which one, I'm not sure. That they haven't announced. Also, if you happen to be able to get your hands on the 64 disk drive, the 64DD, apparently it's not going to be natively compatible with the Analogue 3D, but there are some aftermarket community developed makers out there who are working on ways to get that compatible. So there is a possibility that you might be able to hook a 64DD up to this and play those games as well, if you own one, if you can get your hands on one. And apparently they're going to be showing off more information in a big reveal sometime, hopefully early in 2024. As of right now, this is the only information we have. We don't have an exact date of when this is coming out. We don't have pricing for either the Analogue 3D or the Nintendo 64 controller from 8BitDo. And of course, obviously, not a lot of pictures there either. The little kind of side profile on their site of the Analogue 3D was all they showed of the console itself. And even the controller, just in that kind of dark background like that, it's very hard to make out exactly what it looks like, although there are a few things we can kind of tell from it. So just real quick, this is that picture of the controller again, and I kind of blew it up a little bit. Again, they've got it, you know, in shadow here, so you really can't see much on the left side here, but you can kind of make out a little bit on the right side. We can see that there are at least 2 shoulder triggers on here. We've got an analog stick up in the corner here. It's very hard, it's very faint to make out. I don't know if it's coming across on the video, but I can see a 4-way D-pad here. You've got a start button. You've got a star and a minus button. Another little button here. Maybe this is like a home style button. You've got your 4-way C buttons here, like on the Nintendo 64 controller, and an A-B button. And you can kind of make out the shape of it here, and I'm going to guess that it's going to go down here as well and be shaped very much like the original Nintendo 64 controller. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see more info, but I just wanted to kind of blow this up a little bit more, give you guys a slightly better look at what the controller is going to look like. Again, it's 8BitDo, and they're, you know, pretty well known for their controllers and, you know, what they've put out. So I have a lot of confidence, at least in them, in this controller being pretty darn good. Again, my hope is that it's actually also going to be compatible with the actual Nintendo Switch. And again, that's all we know at this point, is that Analogue has made this announcement, and that hopefully we'll get more information in early 2024 about pricing, about availability, things of that nature. But, you know, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Are you excited to see them come out with a Nintendo 64 compatible console? I know a lot of people love their Pocket and the ability to play multiple different handheld games, whether it's Game Boy or Game Gear, TurboGrafx. There's a bunch that it can play. You've got your Duo that plays TurboGrafx games. They've got their consoles that play Nintendo and Super Nintendo, Genesis, things like that. So they're really good at coming out with these modern controllers that let you go back and play your old school games in case you can't get your hands on one of the original consoles, or it doesn't work anymore, or it's a pain in the ass to hook it up to a modern TV sometimes. So to be able to get your hands on something like this that is brand new to play your N64 collection, or maybe you're looking to start an N64 collection, but you don't want to pay for an original console, you want to get something, again, more modern, then that's what something like this is for. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Is this something you're excited for? Is this something that you'd be interested in purchasing when it comes out? Let me know. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you did, leave me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe if you're not yet, and I'll see you on the next one. Hope you have a great day. Take care.